Okay, getting started on your GE Superbase. I'm going to document that one scratch right there. And that's, other than normal wear, that's the only thing I see. You got a couple of little nicks here in the front. But overall, the appearance looks good. Okay, more to come. Okay, the first problem I found is that we're not getting AC power into the transformers. And you can see right there, it's been doing a little arcing and sparking. It looks like, well, this run here was, this wire was burned completely in two. Looks like somebody's tried to fix it before because that corner of the power connector was broken. It's not in the radio. This cover here goes over the top there, like so. Okay. And then this piece here slides up over that. See if I can show you. Slides up over it like this. Anyway, you get the idea. That corner there that's broken off is totally covered. Well, not totally, but sort of covered up, so you wouldn't notice it. But the problem is in this socket. See that switch assembly there? It disconnects the DC voltage. Like I said, that one there was burned in two. You can see that these two have gotten very hot. So I don't trust this AC socket anymore, the disconnect socket. The problem is I don't have another one. They're not available from GE anymore. The one I ordered, I don't know what I did with it at the moment. I got it sitting around here somewhere. But the one that I ordered, it won't fit in this hole. It's not the same. I can try to get something from Realistic, or we can just try like a universal AC power adapter. You know, the AC power connector. As far as I can tell, the DC connector is fine. I'm going to hook up DC to the radio and just see if we've got power. But the DC gets switched through this thing, so I'm going to have to hook it up direct and try that. But this, you know, I'm not going to put this back in there. It's just that could create a fire. It's a fire hazard. And ready to take the face of it off so I can get to the speaker. I noticed that this was cracked. The other one, these are on the bottom. There's a crack right there too. These are on the bottom. And okay, that one's cracked. I don't know if it's from somebody over tightening it or from it getting bumped around in shipping. But those are cracked. And I've been having these little discs fall out of the radio. See if I can find one real quick. There's one of them right there. See that right there? That one was, looks like steel. The other two that I found were aluminum. I'm sorry, copper or brass. There's one of them right there. I don't know where they're coming from, but so far I've had 3 fall out of the radio. So when I get into it, I'll figure out where they're coming from. Okay, more to come. I think I just figured out where the disc came from. You got a fast and slow button here on the top, and if you look down in there, that's round. This is round. The other one here has got one of the little legs broken off of it. See that one right there? But it looks like that nipple there in the middle pushed in on the metal disc. It probably created kind of a snap, but they were not working. Now I know why. Of course, I can't get the clock to work till I get the AC power back working. But interesting. I don't think they needed to come out, but somebody has taken them out before, and that's probably why they're broken now. Anyway, I'll be back. Okay, got the face off. You can see that little corner piece there finished breaking off. It was almost cracked all the way through already. That's definitely not the right speaker. Rather than take the front off, somebody just put something in there they could get in there easy. So I'll put the correct speaker in there. Actually, a better one. But you can see now the nice round opening where those push button switches were. But like I said, I got 3 of the disc, not 4 or not 2. I got 3, so it makes me wonder where the third one goes. But I think these are like the snap. You know, when you press down on it, you get a snap because they're like disc, and they've got a little bit of what would you call it? Dome shape to them. So that when you push them down, they snap, and that center part there should make contact. But I'm not sure about that. I'll have to wait and see. Hopefully I can get them put back together if I've got all the stuff for them. If not, we may have to substitute something else. Because you need it to set the clock with. Pretty sure. Anyway, more to come. Okay, messing with this thing because I can't find another one anywhere. The one that I had bought, thinking it would fit for the realistics, they won't fit in this hole. So, what I discovered was that all of these connections were soldered in place. Okay, so I was able to take the wires out and clean up the terminals, and I used a business card and got in there and cleaned up the contacts on this guy. You know, I mean, evidently the radio doesn't draw that much power, but this little guy right here switches between the DC output of the AC power supply and the DC input from the connector right above it, you know, straight DC. So you're either running off the power supply on this one or running off of DC from the DC plug. But as soon as you plug the AC cord in, it disconnects this and connects this one, to the third one over here. Okay. So now that I've got that working, let me reinstall this and hopefully we can get this thing up and working on AC. I've got it all tuned up, got all the alignment done, did the service bulletins, all of that. Well, quite a few of them had already been done, so I only had to do a few. I've got all that done, and it got like I said, got the radio all tuned up. I've got to wait on the speaker. I ordered the wrong size speaker. I had to reorder a speaker specifically for the GE Superbase. The speakers that I had were for an LCD TV, but they were a little bit too deep. In other words, you couldn't get them in here. They interfered with the back here, so I'm going to have to, they were too deep. So I've ordered some more GE Superbase speakers. Well, I took measurements, okay, and then ordered speakers that will fit this hole. So, got those coming. Should be here in a day or so. But let me wire this up and see if I can get it to work, and I'll be back. Okay, just as I thought, all of those things were all set. 30% modulation. Should be an S9 at that position right there, and got it just a little bit over S9. I'm not going to touch it. There it is on AM, lower sideband, AM, lower sideband, no, that's upper sideband, lower sideband, AM. Okay. And then we're on AM. There's your modulation meter. Audio, hello, hello audio. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Before it was beating itself against the side over there. Your SSB AGC was all screwed up. There was quite a few things misadjusted inside the radio, but it's all done now. A couple of things I wanted to show you. First off, we're going to look at power. Okay. Right now I'm on the 10-watt scale on my B&K. Okay. 10-watt scale. I'm on AM, and let's get down to channel 20. There's channel 20 right there. Remember, I'm on a 10-watt scale, so that's a 1-watt dead key. Audio, 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 audio. And you can see that it's moving forward, okay? But the meter in the radio, hello, 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 it backs up a little bit. Hello, 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 hello. See it backing up? Now, let's go to sideband. I'm on lower sideband now. Hello, audio, audio, hello, hello, audio, audio, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, audio, audio, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, over here on the peak meter, audio, hello, hello, audio. Just a little bit over 10 watts on sideband. Okay. All right, now let me show you something. That's on AC. By the way, there's the new wiring and everything for your AC connector back there. Oh, I got something else to tell you about too. I'd been using my power cord, and when I tried to use your power cord, you got the wrong cord. Hang on a second. See this connector here? See the pins inside of it there? They're too big. Okay? They don't make good connection to the small pins in the back for the AC plug. And when you push this guy in, it has to disconnect the DC. In other words, it disconnects the DC from the built-in power supply and switches to the DC connector that's on the back of the radio. But see how it's been pushed in right there? This is the wrong power connector. You need to find one made especially for the GE Superbase. Okay, it's different than all the rest. So anyway, let me hook it up to DC on my power supply and show you the difference in the output power. I'll be right back. Alright, now I'm running it on my DC supply, okay, my little 50 amp QJE. But I did that to show you this. Now what's the output power difference? Okay, dead key in 2 watts already. Hello audio, hello audio. Did you see that? There, now watch it on the peak meter over here. Hello audio, hello audio. About 30 watts peak. And watch this meter, it ain't backing up anymore. Audio, hello audio. Audio, 1 2 3 3 2 1. Audio. Matter of fact, I got to turn down the modulation meter because it's beating itself against the side again with me on the external power supply. The problem is that this little power supply they got in this radio here was bare minimum, okay? Just enough to get by. As a matter of fact, I think that transformer said that it was 3 amps. Yeah, right there. 3 amps. Okay? So, that's why it ain't doing anymore when you run it on AC. Now I know you want the clock to work, but you have to have it running on AC to get the clock to work. And there is a way to do that. You can split these transformers, okay, to where that the transformer for the radio power is separate from the transformer for the clock. This is the transformer for the clock circuit here. This is the one here for the radio. But it's not very big. It's only a 3 amp transformer. So now, of course, when the power is rectified, you get a little more than 3 amps, maybe 5, 4.5, 5 amps. But if I were you, I'd run this damn thing on DC. Now there is a way to like I said, separate it. We could actually put a switch on the back here that would allow you to manually switch between AC and DC. Right now it's doing it by that disconnect thing there in the back. You could keep your AC cord plugged in and just run the radio itself off the DC by putting a switch here in the back to switch manually instead of letting this AC connector do the switching. And another thing, see how tiny these little DC wires are going up here to your switch? I venture to say that if you increase the size of those wires to about 14 gauge or 12 gauge, even if you could do that, going from the DC input connector to the power switch, from the power switch over to the board, you'd see a hell of a lot more power than that, because it's got the 2166 and 1969 finals. So it's capable of about, you know, what is that? That's a 20 watt final for the 1969. So it's capable of doing close to that, you know. And on peak power, you could be running 40 watts peak. But you're not going to do it off of this power supply. You're going to have to, at the very least, go get like a Pyramid PS12 or PS14, and just leave your AC disconnected and run it off of DC. But like I said, right now, I think I've explained to you before, there's a switch inside this. I believe I showed it to you. I went in and cleaned it, repaired it, put it all back together. But the wires are very small. Now I upgraded this one a little bit. And of course, these are the AC wires. But the DC wire, it's like 20 gauge, 22 gauge. It's really tiny. I couldn't believe it. It's like smaller than, well, it's the same size as this. You can't hardly, that's the same size. Here, we got wire wraps around here somewhere. Well, they've soldered them. But I don't know if you can see how small the wire, yeah, see that wire right there? It's solid, but that's the size of it. Tiny, tiny little wire. See how it's wire wrapped here? So I bet if you increase the size of that wire going up to, it's got to be increased from here to the power switch, okay, and then from the power switch over to the board. Once you do that, you'll see a big boost in power. I know you will. All right. Well, I'm going to start putting it back together. Oh yeah, the speaker. Okay, the new speakers came in. They were just slightly larger than the one that I had for the TV. Now these are supposed to be GE Superbase speakers, but you can see they're not. They're smaller. The distance between the screw holes was smaller. So what I did, I took some measurements, and by turning this little guy like this, okay, angling him up, I was able to get it in. Right, and another reason that I know it's not GE Superbase speakers is that this one is just as deep as the TV one that I had. Okay, see in there? See that big magnet on the back of this? Now that's good. We like big magnets because they move the element better. But you see, by angling it up just a little bit, it clears that lip running right along here. I don't know if you can see it in there or not. But there's like the front of this shelf that goes in there. Still can't see it very well, but by tilting the speaker up just a little bit, see that flat side there just outside the magnet? Yeah, you can't see it. God damn it. But anyway, by doing it that way, yeah, there you are. By tilting it up, I make the back of the magnet sit on top of that lip. Okay, so I'm able to get this speaker in there. It's a much nicer speaker than the stock speaker that came with the radio. It sounds better than the stock ones too. But in reality, if I were you, I would run an external speaker. a nice external speaker, like a Cobra speaker or something along that line. Don't buy a Workman or any of that kind of junk. Well, even Cobra now, you can't really depend on them. But like a Cobra 2000 speaker would work, but it wouldn't match the radio. Something like from a ham radio shop, okay, a very high quality speaker for this radio. A Radio Shack used to make some really nice speakers that had a tweeter and it was about a 5-inch bass speaker. They sounded really good for communications, but I don't know where you'd get any now. But anyway, there it is. I'm done with it. I'm going to be putting it back together, and I did try to super glue those tabs for you. It was hard to get super glue in between there because I was scared to, you know, pull it apart too much. I didn't want to break that one off too. The other half of this one, I have no idea where it went, but it will be packed a lot better when you get it back. Okay. All right. Oh, I missed one. That one there's got a little crack in it too. I'll glue that right now. Okay, let me get it all put back together, and I'll show it to you with it all back together. All right, more to come. I think I've told you guys this before, but see those little felt washers that go over the switches? It keeps dust and crap out of the radio from the opening, the switch openings, because on one side, if you got it, whichever side you got the switch, the other side is open unless you've got these washers on there. Okay, so if you take your radio to a shop, be sure you check these when you get the radio back. They need to be in there to keep the dust and crap out of the switches. Okay, to get this faceplate off, okay, to start with, there's 4 screws down the side here. You got 2 self-tapping screws that go here, and then you've got an M3 screw there and an M3 screw there. Okay, take all these screws out on both sides. Okay, also well, first you take all those screws out, both sides, and then you pull the faceplate and the bracket along with it away from the radio. Now, there's 2 little tits in there, 2 little nubs that stick through alignment holes, one above this screw and one below that screw. Okay, you have to kind of push in on this bracket to release those, to get them to release, and then when you go to put it back, you got to make sure you get them back in those holes so it lines it up properly. But once you take these screws loose on both sides, you can pull this whole the front of the radio away from the chassis. Okay, now once you do that, see you got all these switches and stuff up here. You take that screw and this screw out. Now that's with the face away from the radio, with the panel and the face itself away from the chassis. Take that screw out right there and take that screw out. Okay, once you do that, this whole assembly drops down. Okay, you just wiggle it a little bit and it'll drop down. You can't do it with it in the radio because of that. All right, so you have to take the face loose, move it out. It's got ribbon wire, so you can do that. Move it out a little bit, take these 2 screws out, and then drop this switch panel down. Get it out of the way. Okay, when you get finished and want to put it back on, okay, you make sure that you slide the face onto the bracket first and then mount the switch assembly back in there. All right, if you want to replace those wires with bigger wires, that's what you got to do. Take these 4 screws out. Okay, and yes, you have to take these 4 out. If you just take those 2 loose, you still got the other 2 in the bottom. So take these 4 screws out that are easy to get to on both sides. Take these 2 out, drop this switch assembly down after you pull the face away from the radio. Once you do that, you can get to the switches and stuff here in the back. And if you want to take the face off, you take out the bevel screws, one here and one on the bottom. All right, these will come out with the case. Okay, more to come. One other thing that I did is I cleaned all the controls with deoxit, the D5. It's the D series. Okay, dissolves corrosion, improves contact, and protects surfaces. All right, I cleaned all of the variable resistors inside the radio with it, and also cleaned the front controls, front panel controls and switches with it. Okay, you have to do that with the panel off so you can get to them. You know, you get to the back and everything. It has to be done correctly. Where the 3 pins come out of the control, that's where you want to spray it in that opening there, so you can move it back and forth to clean it. If you just try to spray it through the shaft, it's not going to get in there. You got to get behind it and spray it where the opening is, where the pins come out at. Okay, but I cleaned all of them with that, and this is good stuff here. It's expensive as hell. It's about $12 a can, but doesn't take much, and it works really well. Okay, more to come. Here's what I did to that corner that was broken off. I just put a little flat washer on there and put the screw in it. See here on this end, the cutout is in the bottom there. So what I did was put that washer on there to help hold it on. Okay. That one, you know, I don't know where the corner of it went. I couldn't glue it back on, but I did glue it back on here and on the other side. All right. And I'm not a big fan of super glue. Okay. But I do use the Gorilla super glue every now and then. It's kind of like a gel. Seems to work really well. Another thing I repaired was this little switch right here. Apparently it had gotten pushed in, maybe during shipping or whatever, but they handle these things rough when they ship. Okay, it was in position 2, so I left it in position 2. At least I think it was in position 2. Kind of hard to tell, but if you're going to ship a base radio, folks, bubble wrap the crap out of it. Either that or take it to, like, you know, one of the shipping companies, FedEx or UPS, one of their stores, and get them to pack it for you. They will make sure they don't lose money, especially if you tell them how much you're going to insure it for. Okay? All right, more to come. It all put back together for you, buddy. Believe it or not, we lucked out with these 2 adjustment switches. You know, I told you I had 3 discs fall out of the radio, 2 copper ones in that one. What I did was put the copper ones back in, dome side up, and snap the switches in, and they work. Set the clock, press that in, click the button, and there she goes. Both fast and slow work. Okay, now I'm probably going to put some tape over top of those to keep them from coming out. We don't want to lose any more parts. Okay, and something else. Audio, hello audio. I don't know if you can see that or not. Got a little more out of it. Here, get back there. Audio. Got a little more out of it by turning the voltage up just slightly. I didn't go over 13.8, but I did adjust the voltage up, but it's still dropping down. If you really want to get out, and by all means, run this thing off an external power supply. At least a 12 amp, and I would, you know, if you can get a 14 amp, 15 amp, get that. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you that it was on frequency. There's channel 38. Let me attenuate my Yazoo so we don't blow it up. Okay, I'm on. Let's get on the lower side. Hello, audio. Hello, hello. 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. It's dead on frequency at 12 o'clock. Okay. Upper side. Switch to upper side on that guy. Hello, audio. Audio 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. Audio test. Audio, hello, hello, audio. 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. Audio test. Uh-oh. Need to get back on lower sideband. Audio, hello, hello, audio. 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. Okay, there you are. I thought I had something else I was going to tell you, but can't remember what it is. Oh, that little switch that's in the back has to be in position 1. Well, it has to be in position 1 for this microphone, okay? It's the one, it's a GE Midland. But apparently there's a couple of different wiring scenarios for these, and I believe that switch allows you to switch for different, like a relay mic, or this one that uses the switch in the mic to go between transmit and receive. I wish there was some DX rolling so you could hear that. Let me see if I can find something. Hang on a second. Okay, I waited till we started getting some skip in. I just wasn't happy in not letting you hear some skip coming in on your radio. Dim control doesn't control the lights in the meters since they've been upgraded to LEDs. Alright, there it is on AM. Let's go back to channel 38. Lower sideband.
Golf 8 X-ray 101 reply. What's your QTH?
This thing's got a great receiver.
Hello, Florida there. Roger. We're in the southern end of New Jersey there. Go ahead. Negative there. A little further north there. CQ. You're giving out a call sign there. You're giving out a ham call sign there. I guess you're a ham radio operator? Roger, do there. Okay, you have yourself a good day, and we'll try to do the same there. But your signal is coming in here steady and strong, and more or less like a local there. So I don't know what you're using or exactly where you're located there, but it doesn't sound like a DX unless you got one powerful radio station.
The speaker sounds good. I'm glad I figured out a way to get it in there. I still think an external speaker would sound better. But there we go. Sure hope you enjoy your radio. It was my pleasure to repair it for you. 73 there, buddy.